There is a land where the earth speaks in forgotten tongues. Where towers rise not from steel, but from dust and devotion. Where the trees do not bloom, they bleed. Where clouds kneel before mountaintops, and cliffs cradle villages like mothers hiding their children from the storms of time. This is not the Yemen they show you on the news. This is the Yemen they fear you might discover. A land carved by prophets and preserved by silence. A country that prays not in temples, but in the way it endures. Every stone a scripture. Every shadow a survivor. Every breath a rebellion against oblivion. You are not just traveling. You are trespassing into a symphony that refuses to die. And the question is no longer, where is Yemen? But are you ready to see the earth before it forgets itself? If Earth had a hidden moon, it would be Socotra, an island drifting in the Arabian Sea, yet belonging to no clear geography or logic. Often referred to as the most alien-looking place on Earth, Socotra is not just unique. It feels like it belongs to another world. What makes it so strange? For starters, over 37% of its plant species are endemic, meaning they exist nowhere else on Earth. The most iconic of them is the dragon blood tree Dracaena cinnabari, a bizarre umbrella-shaped plant whose red sap looks like blood. This sap has been used for centuries as medicine ink dye and even in ancient magic rituals. The island is home to over 700 unique species of flora and fauna, many of which evolved in complete isolation. This has earned it recognition as a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve, a title given only to the world's most biologically significant places. Socotra's landscapes are no less surreal. In the heart of the island lies the Dixum Plateau, where dragon blood trees grow like a forest of silent sentinels. The nearby Hajir Mountains rise sharply into the clouds, sacred to locals who send their prayers into the misty peaks. Further south, Callison Gorge winds through the island where fresh water meets the ocean, creating a rare hybrid ecosystem. And on the coast, at Shab Beach, dolphins are known to leap through the waves at dawn, a daily ritual like a blessing from the sea. Socotra officially belongs to Yemen, but is geographically closer to the Horn of Africa, lying about 380 kilometers south of the Arabian Peninsula. Its isolation, believed to be over 6 million years, has turned it into a natural time capsule, where evolution took its own path. Why don't many people visit? Accessibility is limited. Flights usually only come from Cairo or Abu Dhabi, and even those are seasonal. Political instability in Yemen also complicates travel. And since the island is protected, tourism is heavily restricted to preserve its fragile ecosystem. Yet for those who do reach it, Socotra is unforgettable. Imagine walking beneath trees older than human memory, hearing wind that speaks the language of ancient times, watching the sunrise not as a new day, but as if it were the first day of Earth. In a country known for deserts, dust and dry winds, Jabal Bura appears like a whispered prayer, silent green and sacred. Located in western Yemen, near the Red Sea coast, this mountainous rainforest is one of the last remnants of a unique ecosystem that once stretched across the Arabian Peninsula. It covers a relatively small area, about 100 hectares, but holds enormous ecological significance. Unlike much of Yemen, Jabal Bura receives enough rainfall and humidity to support a lush cloud forest. Mist rolls down the hills almost every morning, wrapping the landscape in silence and moisture. Ferns, mosses, and ancient trees grow freely, unbothered by time or conflict. But Jabal Bura isn't just a forest. It's a ritual alive. The locals believe the mountain is sacred. Nothing is taken without asking. And the most revered residents of this forest, the Hamadryas baboons, wild primates that live in family groups across the cliffs and trees. They are not feared, hunted, or harmed. Instead, they are honored. Why? Because they are believed to be the messengers of the mountain gods. People here don't protect the forest because of the law. They protect it because they fear breaking an unspoken pact with the sky. In recent years, biologists and conservationists have taken greater interest in Jabal Bura. The forest has been designated as a nature reserve since 2005 and is a key biodiversity hotspot in the Arabian Peninsula. Over 60 plant species here are endemic or rare, and the area hosts diverse bird life, amphibians, and insects that exist nowhere else. And yet the greatest mystery of Jabal Bura isn't what lives in it, but what it seems to remember. You don't just walk through this forest. You enter quietly, like entering a shrine, and every step feels like it echoes into something older than memory. Some cities hold history in museums. Sana'a holds it in every wall, every window, and every breath of wind between its alleys. This is not just the capital of Yemen. This is a living epic, a city where time folds into architecture and where 2,500 years of civilization are stacked layer by layer like verses in a forgotten poem. Located at an altitude of over 300 meters above sea level, Sana'a is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world. Its old city, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is home to over 6,000 multi-story buildings, many of them constructed entirely from mud bricks, decorated with intricate white gypsum patterns looking like massive pieces of gingerbread. These buildings aren't just beautiful, they're engineered for survival. The thick walls insulate against heat during the day and trap warmth at night. Upper floors are designed to catch the breeze and natural light, centuries ahead of modern sustainable architecture. But Sana'a isn't only about architecture, it's about spirit. In the early morning, the Adhan call to prayer echoes from dozens of minarets, bouncing off the brown and white facades. In the souks, the scent of coffee, frankincense, and spices fills the air. Children run through alleyways that once carried messages between empires. Old men sit in doorways, chewing cot leaves, watching a world that keeps spinning while their stories stay rooted. Sana'a has been a center of politics, poetry, trade, and theology for centuries, and yet it is now under threat, not only from war and conflict, but from neglect. Many of its ancient buildings have been damaged by bombings or are collapsing from lack of care. UNESCO has placed the old city on its list of World Heritage in danger, a quiet warning that if we're not careful, 500 years of living memory could be lost. Still, for those who walk through Sana'a with open eyes, the city offers more than history. It offers a conversation with time itself. Here, the wind doesn't just blow, it whispers legends. The shadows don't just move, they carry the weight of centuries. And every step isn't just movement, it's a prayer left behind. Dar Al-Hajar was built to belong, not to power, but to the mountain itself. Located in Wadi Dar, about 15 kilometers northwest of Sana'a, this 5-story palace doesn't just sit on a rock. It grows out of it, as if it was carved by wind time and devotion. Built in the 1930s as the summer residence of Imam Yahya, a former ruler of North Yemen, Dar Al-Hajar blends Islamic architecture, mountain craftsmanship, and ancient survival logic into one breathtaking structure. From afar, the palace looks like a fairy tale fortress, balanced on a stone pillar. But up close, it's a lesson in humble intelligence. Each level serves a purpose. The lower floors hold water storage and food supplies. The middle floors were for receiving guests and conducting affairs. The top floors housed the family, always open to light wind and stars. At the very heart of the structure is a well over 60 meters deep, ensuring year-round water supply, a lifeline in the dry Yemeni climate. Despite being a palace, Dar Al-Hajar has no gold, no opulence, no marble. What it has instead is a sense of belonging to the land, to the wind, and to the values of balance. It reflects a kind of architecture that doesn't dominate nature, but harmonizes with it, using natural light, cross-ventilation, and thermal mass long before eco-design became a buzzword. Today, Dar Al-Hajar is not used as a royal residence, but as a symbol of resilience, of heritage that doesn't need to shout, of elegance that comes from understanding, not conquering the earth. When most people imagine skyscrapers, they think of steel glass and neon. But in the heart of the Yemeni desert, there stands a city built not from ambition, but from earth straw and sunlight. Welcome to Shibam, often called the Manhattan of the desert, though it deserves a name all its own. Founded over 1,500 years ago, Shibam is one of the oldest examples of urban planning based on vertical construction. Its mud brick towers, some rising 7 to 11 stories high, form a dense cluster that defies both logic and landscape. This city wasn't built to impress. It was built to endure. At a time when desert tribes were vulnerable to flooding and attacks, Shibam's vertical architecture was revolutionary. Stacking homes skyward allowed for greater protection, natural ventilation, and efficient land use. The thick mud brick walls insulate against both the scorching heat and the cool desert nights. Each building is handmade, using local clay straw and wooden supports. And here's the miracle: the city still stands. Despite centuries of floods, droughts, and even civil wars, the core structure of Shibam has remained intact, a testament to both the ingenuity and the spirit of its people. Shibam is more than architecture. It's a collective act of prayer, built one layer at a time. Every window carved by hand, every wall molded by the memory of generations, every rooftop facing the stars, as if waiting for answers from heaven. In 1982, UNESCO declared Shibam a World Heritage Site. But in recent years, the city has faced mounting threats. From modern construction pressures, lack of preservation funding, and conflict damage. Even so, as the sun sets over Shibam, its clay towers glow like embers of an ancient fire, still burning, still whispering, "We are still here." Before prophets, before empires, before maps, there was Marib, a city built not just with bricks, but with devotion to the sun. Located in the eastern part of Yemen, on the edge of the Rub al-Khali Desert, Marib was once the capital of the ancient Kingdom of Sheba, a name whispered in the Quran, the Bible, and countless legends. This was the land of the Queen of Sheba, a woman whose wisdom and power still echo across time. In its golden age, around the 8th century BCE to the 3rd century CE, Marib was a center of wealth irrigation and sun worship. The people here didn't just survive the desert, they turned it into a garden. At the heart of their achievement stood the legendary Marib Dam, one of the greatest engineering feats of the ancient world. Built over 800 years ago, stretching over 600 meters long, the dam diverted flash floods from the mountains and irrigated thousands of hectares of farmland. It allowed the Sabaeans to grow wheat dates and even export frankincense and spices across Arabia and beyond. But the people of Marib didn't only master the earth, they worshipped the sky. They built temples to the sun goddess and aligned their cities with celestial events. For centuries, the sun was not just a source of light, it was a divine force, a giver of life and law. However, even the most advanced civilizations are not immune to time. Around the 6th century CE, the dam collapsed, either due to natural causes or human neglect. Its destruction marked the fall of Saba. This event was so significant that it's mentioned in the Quran Surah Saba, verses 15 to 17, as a divine warning about the fragility of prosperity. Today, Marib lies partly in ruins, partly reborn. Modern buildings now rise near ancient foundations. And while war and instability have scarred the land, echoes of Marib's glory still resonate. In every sun-baked stone, every abandoned column, and every tale that begins with, "Once when the sun ruled this land." There are places where people build homes. And then there are places where it feels like the mountains themselves grew the homes, stone by stone, ledge by ledge. In the highlands of Yemen, 3 ancient villages defy gravity and definition: Al-Hajarain Wadi Al-Azil and Al-Hajara. From a distance, they seem like mirages, carved into cliffs balancing on rocks suspended in air. But step closer, and you'll see these are not ruins, not relics. They are living settlements, still breathing, still climbing. These mountain villages were born from necessity, a response to both the harshness of nature and the threat of invaders. Built on high cliffs and steep slopes, their layout is strategic protection above all else. But protection doesn't mean sacrifice. In fact, the design of these homes shows remarkable wisdom and sustainability. Each house is usually 3 stories. The ground floor is for livestock: goats, chickens, donkeys. The middle floor is for storage: grains, tools, dried herbs. The top floor is for living, where families sleep, eat, gather, and look out over the valleys below. From afar, the villages seem to dissolve into the rock. Up close, every stone tells a story of survival, of simplicity, of stubborn beauty. There is no excess here, only what is needed and what lasts. And yet, these villages carry more than just function. They carry a soul, one etched into every window, every ledge, every call to prayer that echoes down the mountainside. They are not just built on mountains. They are part of the mountains, timeless, weathered, and watching. At over 3,000 meters above sea level, where the air thins and clouds brush against the cliffs, you'll find Jabal Sabir, a mountain that doesn't just reach toward the sky, but carries the faith of a people. Located near the city of Taiz in southwestern Yemen, Jabal Sabir isn't just tall, it's alive. Its steep slopes are carved into ancient agricultural terraces, stacked like stairways for giants. From a distance, the mountain looks sculpted by divine hands, each terrace a step closer to heaven. For centuries, the people of Jabal Sabir have cultivated these terraces with extraordinary care. They grow coffee, barley, wheat, and cot, not with machines, but with hands hardened by wind and time. Every stone wall is laid by hand, every path walked 1,000 times. And the mountain responds by giving just enough. Water, as always in Yemen, is life. Here it flows through hand-dug channels, a complex and ancient system of gravity-fed irrigation. Not a drop is wasted. Every flow is measured, every harvest a blessing. The mountain is also home to a rare and mystical creature, the Arabian leopard. Elusive, near extinct, and sacred, it's believed by many locals to be a guardian spirit of the highlands. Few have seen it, but all respect it. Its silence is power. Its presence, a reminder that this land belongs not only to humans. Jabal Sabir is not an easy place to live. And yet the people here don't just survive, they thrive. They've built lives in the clouds, communities on cliffs, faith among fog. To walk these slopes is to understand a different kind of wealth. Resilience, reverence, and rootedness. Here, the land doesn't yield easily, but it rewards those who stay. And when the wind rushes through the terraces at sunset, it feels like the whole mountain is breathing a prayer. In a land shaped by mountains, memory, and conflict, Taiz rises not just as a city, but as a thought made visible. Located in southwestern Yemen, perched at the foot of Jabal Sabir Taiz, is one of the country's most populous and culturally rich cities. It has been called many things: the city of knowledge, the cultural capital, the beating heart of Yemen's intellectual life. For centuries, Taiz was a center of scholarship, literature, theology, and resistance. Its people have long believed that truth is worth defending not just with words, but with life. The skyline of Taiz is dominated by the majestic Al-Kahira fortress, perched high on a mountain ridge. More than a military structure, it was once a seat of power, of strategy, of identity. From its ramparts, you can see the entire city. Winding alleyways, open markets, mosques, and rooftops filled with memory. Taiz is a paradox. It is both ancient and modern, poetic and political, wounded and unbroken. Despite being heavily affected by war in recent years, it continues to foster education, creativity, and debate. The people of Taiz are known for their sharp minds and sharper voices. They write, they protest, they teach. They do not remain silent even when silence would be safer. In Taiz, schools open even when bullets fly, libraries rebuild after bombings. And walls are not just barriers, they are canvases covered with poems, questions, defiance. Taiz teaches us something rare, that knowledge is not a luxury, but a weapon. That hope is not passive, but built word by word, book by book, breath by breath. And when night falls over this city of struggle and stubborn brilliance, it glows not with lights, but with the quiet fire of minds refusing to dim. Yemen is not a wound, it is a sacred symphony. Yemen is often reduced to headlines of war, crisis, and collapse. But when you walk its mountains, hear its call to prayer, echo through mudbrick streets, or witness a tree bleeding red sap under a violet sky, you realize this land is not broken, it is alive. Wounded, yes, but still singing. A country that holds its past like scripture and its future like a whispered hope. You see, Yemen doesn't need to be redesigned. It doesn't beg for monuments or skyscrapers, because every stone in its villages, every gust of desert wind, every child running between ancient walls is already a prayer waiting to be heard. This is not just a travel destination. It is an invitation to see the world with new eyes, to hear silence as a form of speech, to recognize beauty that doesn't ask for permission. If this journey moved you even just a little, let's keep it going. Subscribe to explore the planet. 4K travel documentary for more immersive journeys into hidden corners of the earth. Like the video if it opened your perspective. Share it with those who still believe the world has stories worth listening to. And comment below. Which chapter of Yemen touched you the most? We don't just explore places. We uncover meaning. And this Yemen is only the beginning, is only the beginning, is only the beginning.